Hey guys, injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and in today's video, I'm going to cover the topic. I think my case is a stinker. I think it's too small. I don't think it would be worth it. Should I even bother calling a lawyer? Well, that's what the topic is today. And so, right out of the gate, I'm going to tell you, you should always talk to a lawyer after an accident because it's free. And early on, I'll tell you a story. I called this guy. Uh, he called me and then I called him back. And he had a car accident. And he's like salt of the earth regular guy, right? If I knew him in regular life, we'd probably be friends. We'd probably go out and have a beer, go out to dinner and go bowling and stuff like that. But anyway, nice guy and like good, like a guy with like just like a good guy, good values, right? He's like, you know what? I got hurt. It wasn't my fault. I got rear-ended. There's big damage photos, but I never did a lawsuit before. I never called a lawyer before. I saw your video on YouTube, so I just thought I'd call you, but I think I don't want to make a big deal about it. I don't, it's not a big deal, you know. So I said, okay, well, listen, that's cool. It's completely up to you whether you want to hire a lawyer or not. I don't chase cases. I don't talk people into anything they're uncomfortable with. I tell people the truth, and then we talk about what their options are and if they ask me my opinion, I'll tell them. Okay. And this is what I told the guy. I said, listen, tell me, have you even been to, I think he called me a few days after the accident. He's like, have you even been to any doctor yet? It's been a few days since the crash. He's like, yeah. The ambulance came to the scene, but I didn't want to leave my truck. So I told him, thanks, no thanks. But then later that night, my neck and back started hurting. So I went to the hospital on my own. My wife made me go to the hospital because she was worried about me. So I went to the hospital. They kept me there. They examined me. They gave me an x-ray to my neck and back, no broken bones. They prescribed me like cyclobenza. So what is it called? Cyclobenzaprine. Basically, they prescribed them basically 800 milligrams of ibuprofen and and a muscle relaxer. Cyclobenzaprine, I think is called. And, I've been taking them and, my neck and back are still bothering me. It feels like they're getting a little worse, but I just think it's maybe a back strain. I think it's probably going to be okay. I'm not going to worry about it. It's like a hospital bill, but, I got health insurance. I probably don't even want to make a big deal about it. I told him, look, this is what I tell everybody in this situation. At the beginning of a case, right after you get injured, especially with like neck and back, shoulder injuries, any joint in your body, at the beginning, a temporary injury hurts just as bad as a permanent one, usually. Okay? And with a neck or back injury, insurance companies are very skeptical and they want to defend them and they want to fight them. And so it is important right from the beginning to talk to a lawyer, get your questions answered, and make sure you're doing the right thing. So I told him, you're already doing the right thing by talking to a lawyer and getting some advice, okay? You went to the hospital the same day of the accident. That's another great thing to do, getting medical care right after an accident. Even if you end up being okay, getting checked out is important because you may have a million jobs in your life. You may have a dozen chances to sue somebody or do a case against somebody in your life, but you get one body and one life. And there's no medical condition that you have that benefits from a delayed diagnosis. In other words, the sooner you know about the problem, the sooner you can fix the problem, right? So why delay medical care and then have pain and problems for a really long time? It doesn't make any sense, right? So, Reader's Digest, I told the guy, like, look, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you're telling me it's been 3 days, you went to the ER, you're on muscle relaxers and pain pills, and you're still getting worse. So, maybe not a bad idea to follow up with somebody. Um, And maybe it's not a bad idea. Listen, and I told him, look, like anybody else, like any other lawyer, I want the big cases. I want the $1 million case, the $100,000, the $500,000 case. But most injury cases are on the smaller end. And this is what I can do for you, I told him. Like, even if I sign you up as a client, and the only thing we have is an emergency room, and you're in pain for 2 weeks, and then you're better, or you're in pain for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and then you call me up and say, Scott, I'm not going to the doctor anymore. I feel good. We can wrap it up. If that's what you want me to do, then that's what I'll do. Now, this guy missed a couple of days of work too. So I told him, like, look, no ambulance. That's fine. You have an ER bill. We don't know how big it is. You're going to have at least a few days off work. Why don't we just work together on it? And if you're done treating, you call me when you're done treating. I'll order the medical records now. And, when you're done treating, we'll ask your employer to fill out a form for us to say how much time you lost from work. It'll be a teeny tiny case. But on the other hand, it's not going to take me a lot of time to get a demand out to the insurance company, and we'll put some money in your pocket. Cool thing is, no effort on your part. But I told him that's like the least likely outcome here, frankly. But even if it works out that way, I'm happy to do it for you. Do it for you as a favor. It's fine. I'm happy to do it. I mean, I'll make a tiny little fee on the case, but we'll put some money in your pocket. And doing it this way is like insurance for you. Because, man, I am telling you, you know what happened to this guy, right? You know what happened to him. He ended up going to his family doctor, getting referred out to an orthopedic doctor, tried therapy. I get the emergency room records. It shows that he's got back pain and it's going down a leg. That's what we call radicular symptoms in our business. The pain, the injury is in his back, but it's radiating down his leg, right? And that usually means that there's a disc that's pressing on a nerve, and sometimes those heal just like similar to a neck or back sprain. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you need injections. Sometimes you need surgery. Well, and then there's levels to the surgery. There's like the discectomy, where they open up the space where the nerve comes out, and then there's a fusion, where they actually make more space between the vertebrae so the nerve can exit and it's not getting irritated anymore. So this guy did everything right. He went and did therapy. He did injections. He ended up doing a microdiscectomy on his back. The whole thing, all of his treatment, and he was right as rain and happy he ended up having the surgery. He had a great outcome, no more pain, felt just as good as he did before the accident. So medically, huge success story. But I'm going to tell you, it is a good thing he hired me, because there were a lot of little twists and turns in the case that I managed for him to protect the value of that case and maximize the value of the case. He was able to focus on just getting better. And if he had any problems or questions, he could just call me. We're pretty good at calling people back. My point is, he's like, I don't want to call a lawyer. I'm going to do it myself. I'm not even going to make a claim. And it turns out he's got a bad disc in his back. Turns out he ends up having a surgery in his back, along with a bunch of surgical injections in his back to make sure, to see if that. See, the way medical care is supposed to work is you do conservative and then more serious. You don't start day one with surgery unless somebody's like life or health is at danger, right? So him and his doctors did everything the right way. And there were, like I said, there were a couple of little wrinkles in the case that I had to manage for him to protect the case value, maximize the case value. And we ended up getting him a really nice settlement. And this was his outcome. No stress for him, because anytime anyone called him or hassled him, he called me and I took care of it. We did all the legwork, assembled the case, put the case together. We did giant settlement packet with a medical summary, sent it all to the insurance company, haggled with the insurance company, got him a number, and he was very happy with that number. I was happy with it. He was happy with it. And the thing that both of us were happy about was that he was happy with his medical outcome. So he's back to normal, no serious consequences permanently for him, and puts great money in his pocket. And it was like a stress-free experience for him because we handled all the BS. For us, it's not BS. It's just Tuesday. It's just Wednesday. It's like another day at the office. So stuff that drives an injured person crazy when they're under all that stress is stuff that we're used to handling every day at the office. We know exactly how to handle it. We know exactly what to do, and we do it. So anyway, I was great guy, great outcome for him. I'm happy that things worked out for him, but I'm using him as an example just to let you know that at the beginning of the case, you don't know how bad you're hurt. But if you delay getting the direction and guidance and help with a lawyer to sort of make sure you're going through the insurance company injury maze, if you're going through it yourself, you're going to get lost in there, right? If you go through it with somebody who goes through that maze every day, I'm going to take you right where you need to go. Take you by the hand, lead you right through that thing, so you got no stress, no worry. We even advance case costs. So it costs money to get medical records, money to get a police report, all that stuff. No out of pocket for you at any point. Literally, we only get paid attorney's fees if we win the case. If we lose the case, I usually just write off the case costs. Luckily, I'm trying to remember the last time I lost a case. I'm sure I've lost a case at some point, but it's been a really long time. Anyway, whatever. Everybody, I'm not telling you I never lose. I'm telling you I'm trying to remember the last time I got zero on a case for somebody. Oh, you know what? The last time I got zero on a case for somebody, they had surveillance of my client, video surveillance, showing that he basically lied. He lied about the severity of his injuries. He lied about all that stuff. And that wasn't even in front of a judge and jury. That was I think it was at a mediation. And they pulled out the video, and obviously I objected because they never disclosed it to me beforehand. But there was a small offer, and the client didn't want it. And I told him, look, how do you explain what you're doing in this video? Because it's clearly you. It's not one of these cases where somebody's shoveling snow in front of my guy's house or apartment, and it turns out it's his brother or his cousin. It's like clearly my guy, after he gave a deposition saying that he was profoundly injured and could barely walk, right? Comes into the mediation using a walker, and then we've got video of him a month before. So that was not a good situation. It still isn't a loss. I got him an offer that was way better than probably what he deserved, but he didn't want it. So, okay, you don't want it. This is not a case. I do not get involved in. If you're going to lie to me, or you want to make a fraud case, or you want to make a Fugazi case, fake, I'm not the guy for you. There's plenty of guys out there, I guess, based on the reputation of the legal industry. I'm sure there's probably some guys out there who will turn the other cheek, look the other way. I don't want to do cases like that. I've dedicated my life to this. I don't want to handle cases like that. I want to help really injured people and good people, and I want to make the process, I want to take the heat off you guys, is the point. I want to make the process easy and stress-free for you. We do the legwork. You don't pay me anything until the end of the case. You never pay me out of pocket. And, we end up getting you a heck of a better outcome than a lot of other people, and definitely a better outcome than you'd get if you did it yourself, because there's too many pitfalls and traps in these cases. Anyway, you get the point. My advice is call a lawyer right away. Even if you don't end up having a case, they can answer your questions. It's a free consultation. There's no obligation. So if you need to reach me for a free obligation, it's 312-500-4500. That's 312-500-4500. And I'd love to hear from you. You can call that number any day, anytime, day or night, any day of the year. That phone always gets answered by my team, and they're trained by me. So if they're rude, you let me know. Anyway, if a lot of times people aren't quite ready to talk to a lawyer, but they still have questions, right? I made a couple of tools on my website. They're free to access, links in the description. One is called the case cash calculator. It tells you what your case might be worth in settlement. All you do is go through the calculator, answer about 6 or 7 questions, multiple choice. 10 seconds later, you got answers to your question, free, no obligation, no lawyer to talk to. Pretty easy, right? The other one is the good case calculator. Similar thing, 10 or 20 seconds to complete, no lawyer to talk to, free and no obligation. You answer, they're different questions because they're different calculators, obviously. But it tells you whether you have like what looks like a really good case or whether you have a case that might have some challenges in it. So things to think about, right? Word to the wise, things to think about. Free to use right on the website. If you like my videos and you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have a comment or you want me to make a video about a question you have, leave a comment in the comment section and I'll turn it into a video for you. If you subscribe, hit the bell. This way you'll get notified when I shoot a new video. And last thing, I really need more Google reviews. People really rely on Google reviews when deciding who to hire for their injury case. So if you wouldn't mind helping me out, there's a link in the description. All you do is cut and paste it into your web browser on your phone, tablet, or PC. In other words, it's a web page. You go there. As soon as the page loads, there's like a 5 stars. You click 5 stars. You say a kind word. You hit submit. And you're done. Takes you 5 seconds. Maybe 10 seconds if the page loads slow, but it's Google's page, so it's fast as heck. 5 seconds, 10 seconds at worst for you, but really helpful to me, really helps me out. It'd be a big favor to me, and I'd really appreciate it. Very competitive market, trying to get the word out and help injured people as much as I can, but after all, I do need new cases and clients because that's what I do for a living. So I like to be independent, run my own little shop, and this is how you can help me. And of course, obviously, if you or anyone you know needs an injury lawyer, I would really love it if you could send them my way. Make sure they mention your name because I want to send you a thank you card if you refer me a case or client. So anyway, thanks again. The best way to do it is just call 312-500-4500, and I get texted that info immediately, and I call immediately unless I'm literally sleeping. So anyway, thanks again for watching. I hope you have a great day. Hope you and your family are well. Until the next video, take care. Bye-bye.